Chicago, whether
Travel talk. This is travel talk.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and about the company?
Sure. So, Chrissy, I'm John Modica. I'm one of the co-founders of Kamana. So, Kamana, we're actually a software company, and my background's in nursing. So, as a nurse, I always struggled with keeping track of my licenses, my certifications, medical history items, making sure stuff's not expiring. And then, as you know, in the travel space or the per diem space, a lot of people need access to your documents. So, we built Kamana as a way to get all that stuff stored in one spot. I can grab it from my phone, and if anybody needs access, I can just share it with them, and I can do it securely too. We keep everything encrypted, so I can give you access. If you need my references, I can give it to you. If you need my documents, if you don't, I can unshare that access. So it's a way to make things more streamlined for us as healthcare professionals and more efficient and secure.
For sure. So as an agency owner, I can definitely relate to the importance of having security for our documents are. And I believe that's one thing that a lot of the travelers amongst the Facebook groups and the ones that I talk to, that they really appreciate about Kamana is that other agencies and other employers can actually link their profile to the actual employee's profile. So I think that's really, and you just dropped the bomb on me. I didn't know that you were a nursing professional.
Yeah, so I was an ER nurse for a long time. Was at the bedside for about 10 years. Yep, and then in the travel space for about good 6 years. And I worked travel contracts with big agencies. I would work travel contracts with my boutique local agencies per diem. So it kind of was all over the place with the employment opportunities.
So let's talk a little bit about your travel history. What was that like for you?
I was an ER nurse, and I always felt like a really good ER nurse. Like, I know what I'm doing when I come to the ER, throw me to the wolves, I'm ready to go. But as a traveler, I felt like I just wasn't good at it. Like, I couldn't keep track of my credentials. I have this old dumpy paper folder with licenses and titers. I'm losing vaccine records, having to get revaccinated again. I even had a situation where I was texting and emailing, this sensitive information, and my data got breached. I was trying to give it to an employer, their email got hacked, and I got my data breach. So as a traveler, I just felt like I wasn't good at managing my stuff, my relationships with employers, and that was really the genesis to us looking at this problem and saying, healthcare professionals need an easier way to do this that's secure, that's intuitive, and easy to use. So it's a lot better now, right? That we have this option and it's free for folks to use. But yeah, loved being a nurse, hated feeling like an office manager trying to manage all of my stuff.
That's great. So you actually have an inside knowledge and inside track of what the people, your consumers on your platform are using, as well as the agency owners as well.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think it's important, and another reason we're here at Trapcon, it's important to talk to other nurses like you, talk to other entrepreneurs like you, agency owners, because we got to make sure that we're fresh and that we're building new things and we're staying on top of it. So we're stoked to be here. We get to talk to a lot of healthcare professionals that are already on Kamana, obviously meet new ones, talk to agency owners, and make sure that we're paying attention to what the pain points are, where the friction is, so that we can continue to evolve and iterate.
For sure. A Google executive recently said that Generation Z is using TikTok and Instagram as larger search engines to essentially how-to their way through life. How do you think that Kamana is adjusting to that new wave, this change?
Yeah, I love it. I think a big part about Kamana is you've got to meet healthcare professionals where they're at. So you just mentioned TikTok, social media. If a healthcare professional, they're not just there to figure out how to navigate their career, they're also looking for work too, as you know, as an agency owner. So Kamana is there to meet them where they're at. So whether they're getting a Kamana profile to help them navigate, or maybe they're connecting with a new agency owner that's on Kamana, Kamana's got that digital link, so they don't have to leave their phone. Right from that social media, they can jump right in and start that process. So I think it's important as a nurse to not have to ask other healthcare professionals to crack open a laptop to get through this, to have to open a binder and get their documents and things like that. So we want to meet folks where they're at. We want to let healthcare professionals continue to be nomadic and have a easy, streamlined process to go through this.
For sure. I really appreciate that, because like you said earlier, part of the travel nursing process, there are a lot of documents that you have to keep up with. You have to send them multiple times, and Kamana makes it super easy for you to just link your profile and your documents together. So I definitely appreciate the security in that. And earlier and yesterday we were talking about essentially a new look and a new logo for Kamana. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we did a little light brand refresh. So we've been, Haley on our team's been behind the scenes kind of working just to, be a little more succinct with our messaging and who we are, how we can help nurses, how we can help staffing agencies, and doing a little bit of a brand refresh too. So we're excited about the little facelift, if you will, for Kamana, and I'm pumped.
I like that facelift for Kamana. Is there any type of advice that you would have to prospective agency owners or someone who might be looking to get into this profession as far as owning an agency?
Ooh, so as far as like getting in and kind of starting your own business, so anybody that is coming from the healthcare space, if you're a nurse, if you're a CNA, if you're a physical therapist, if you've worked at the bedside, you've got that empathy, you know what it's like. So really articulate that in your brand and your message and who you are, and think about too why you're starting an agency. If you're starting a staffing agency because you want to provide a better experience, or you want to make sure that you're helping staff healthcare professionals at facilities that are really going to take care of them, keep that as your North Star and articulate that in your story and your values and your mission for healthcare professionals. But to turn that around on you, Chrissy, I'd be interested in what are your thoughts as a nurse entrepreneur? What do you think is good advice for a nurse, a healthcare professional, and maybe not even a staffing agency, but that wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to innovate and create something? What's some advice that you would give?
One of the first things that I would say is to have a plan and have a backup plan for that plan not to work out exactly the way that you plan it to, in the sense that things cost a whole lot more than you anticipate when you're running a business. They also take a whole lot longer to process than you anticipate. I know that personally with our agency, just even getting like workman's comp and insurance, that was like a 3-month long process. And if you don't have a team or a family member or someone who's willing to make those calls every single day and be on hold for hours at a time every single day, and even at times work without being paid every single day, that might be something that you might want to reevaluate. I also recommend getting a mentor or some type of coach in the industry that you intend upon entering into, because for me, like social media, 10 years ago, there was no blueprint for social media. Our Instagram influencers, YouTubers, I think Instagram and YouTube were the biggest platforms back then. So there wasn't really a blueprint. People were just posting every single day. And eventually that turned into them being able to be monetized, brand deals, brand sponsorships, monetization, and things like that. That was 10 years ago. Today, everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to have 100,000 likes. Everybody wants to be the #1 creator on the platform. But if you don't follow the blueprint that has already been established and have the wherewithal to kind of be self-starting, self-motivating, because a blueprint is just an idea of what something could look like. There's levels to the amount of work that you have to put in. And if you're not invested into it for the long haul, then, you might want to keep working for somebody else. See if another agency is hiring, work under somebody else until you get that discipline, that structure in, for sure.
I love that. Yeah. So be disciplined up front, be invested. That's something I heard. And then that investment is having the patience, having the dedication, because there are going to be ups and downs and things aren't going to move as quickly as you want, and investing in a mentor, investing in somebody that can show you the ropes, that's learned those hard lessons and can help you cut your teeth in a way and be effective. I love that.
So you said something that kind of sparked something for me, learning those hard lessons. So what's a piece of advice that you would have to an entrepreneur who is going through like a dry season or a slower season where things are not as profitable?
Yeah. And that's going to happen, right? There's going to be ups and downs. You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have times where it's hard to get profitable, or you're just spinning your wheels trying to get clients, or whatever it might be. I think it kind of goes back to, like I was saying, with articulating your brand and your value. Why are you doing what you're doing? And make sure that your users, your customers know that, because that's why they're going to work with you. But also remind yourself that too, because when the going gets tough and you're like, why am I doing this? I could just go get a W-2 job and go make some money, not have to deal with all this headache. Remind yourself, I'm here for this reason. I want to better this for healthcare professionals, or I want to have the autonomy of owning my own business, or I want to pass something on to my family, or I want to employ others. Whatever that motivation, that drive is, remember it, write that down, staple it to the freaking wall so you see it every day, and remind yourself, because the going's going to get tough. And I think the only other thing I would add is surround yourself with really supportive people. And that's not just friends and family, but the people that you bring on your team, especially in the early days, they're going to also have to go through it. And so you don't want a bunch of negative Nancy's. You want people that are going to bring you up and help you get through it.
For sure. I spoke with a business owner yesterday, Modern Studios, a scrub line, and she essentially said the same thing, you know, writing those things down, putting it in a place where you can see it every day, because you have to have your vision more than anybody else. You have to believe in your vision yourself more than anybody else. And I think one of the greatest examples of that is Amazon, when they started out in the father's garage with just one person, one computer, and now today, 20 years later, they're a multi-billion trillion dollar industry that everybody uses every single day all around the globe. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your input and everything. Is there anything else that you would like to add about Kamana, or anything else about the travel nursing industry?
Yeah, I would say for Kamana, check us out, kamana.com. We're there to make lives easier for not just healthcare professionals, but healthcare employers. And with that, let us know, give us feedback. If you'd like to see new things on Kamana, or you have questions or thoughts, reach out. You know, I love conversations like this, Chrissy, because this is how you innovate. This is how you grow. So always stoked to connect with other innovators, entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals in the market. But for those that are out there doing it, keep at it, keep hustling, keep grinding, and let's continue to better this industry for nurses, for healthcare professionals, and for our patients.
For sure. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Trapcon. Until next year, guys. Bye.